Welcome to the Uncensored Self Podcast. I am your host, Ryann Gillen, and this is a space where women who value achievement, success, accomplishment, and wealth, but also crave happiness, love, joy, and deep fulfillment come to remember that we get to have both. Not by doing more, but by being more of who we truly are. In this show, we explore identity, energy, alignment, and embodiment because you didn't come here to follow someone else's rules. You came to right your own. Let's dive in. So we are doing something new here on the podcast, and I am so excited to share it with you. This is Ask Ryann, where I am answering questions, the situations, the moments where you're sitting there thinking, what the fuck is going on? Why does it still feel so hard, even though I've been doing this forever style questions. The why can't I figure this out, even though I'm so smart and successful questions. The why does it still feel like this? And I'm going to break it down. And I'm not going to give you the obvious answer. I'm not going to give you the strategy answer. I'm going to give you the energetic truth under the questions, because most of the time it's not what you think. It's almost never what you think, right? So we are keeping these episodes short. We're keeping them honest, and we're going to get straight to it. Let's go. So today, because it's the kickoff, I'm going to try to answer two questions. I might be biting off more than I could chew, but I am used to doing this in the public eye. So that's what I'm going to do. I have two questions for you today. And what I love about these questions, and the reason that I chose them to get started, is they sound different, but they're actually the same thing underneath. Question number one: I make more money than I ever thought that I would, but it still never feels like enough. I feel like I'm constantly checking my accounts, constantly feeling pressure to make more. When is it going to actually feel like enough? Gosh. If I've heard this iteration of this question, I don't know how many times over the past year and a half. And the first question that I always ask is, what do you think more money is going to get you? When somebody comes to me and says, I make more than I ever thought I would, but it's still like, I still don't feel secure with money. The question is, what do you think that money is going to get you? Like, really, what does it mean? And for most people, the answer is something around it's safety, it's security. I want to make sure my family is taken care of. There's people who depend on me, our lifestyle, our businesses, our employees, all these other things. There's this whole laundry list of safety and security, right? But here's the problem with that. And that's why, even though you actually do technically have enough money, I'm using air quotes, enough money to be safe and secure, you don't. Because if money is your source of safety, it will never feel like enough. If money is your source of safety, it will never feel like enough. That's not money's job. You gave money a job that is not yours. Because what you're using money to do is to tell you that you're safe. Am I okay? Am I safe? Is it enough? And you're letting money tell you that. And because that's not money's job, it still always feels like not enough. So here's the deal. If you feel like it is not enough, if it doesn't feel okay now, if it doesn't feel safe now, no number fixes that. There's not going to be a large enough number, and I speak from personal experience, both with myself and clients. If you don't feel safe and secure now, there is no number that is all of a sudden going to fix that. It's just impossible. That is not money's job. Enoughness, safety, security, whatever you think that money is going to give you does not come in the form of numbers on a bank account. Your safety, your security is your inside. It's an inside job. It's up to you. It's up to you to tell yourself that you are safe. It is up for you to tell yourself that you're enough. It's up for you to decide what enough is. You're letting an outside metric dictate you, your choices, your drive, your ambition, and then you're mad at it because it's not telling you that you're enough. That's your job. It's an inside job. It's not about money. It's about the feeling that you think that money is going to give you and really exploring that and then giving it to yourself. Okay? Question number two. This is the other side of this. This is a different side. This one was, my business makes around $250,000 to $300,000 a year. I love the idea of growing the business. I love the idea of more money, but all I can think about is how much more work it would be, or how much it would cost to hire people to do the work that I don't want to do. And at what point is it just not worth it to grow the business? I'm going to start with the same question. What do you think that growing the business is going to get you? And there's two answers to this question, right? I hear this from two different camps. Some people think more, it's the same thing, it's money. It's just like question one. But what I also think a lot of people think that more business or a bigger business is going to get them, I get this response a lot, is more freedom, more ease, more space. If the business was bigger, I would make more money. I would have more freedom. I would have more space. I would have more time. I would have more resources, right? And what have you decided that it's going to cost you to get that? Because right now, what you've done is you've linked more money to stress and pressure and responsibility. You have decided that success, more money, a bigger business is going to equate to more stress, more pressure, more responsibility. So, of course, you don't want it. Of course, you have no good ideas. Of course, you're not motivated to take action from that place because your subconscious believes that more money is more stress, more pressure, more responsibility. And so you don't want any of those things. So you stay stuck in this endless ideas of loops and just endless loops of ideas. I literally said that backwards. Endless loops of ideas. I spent years here, guys. I speak this when this is very personal. This is not my question, but very personal in this idea of I want a bigger business. I want to make more money. I want a bigger business. I want to make more money. But I had the belief system and the identity of somebody who hard work is what equaled money. So in order to make more money, I was going to have to work harder. And my subconscious was protecting me from that. I also had the identity of somebody who wasn't good with money. So what was the point of making more money? Because I wasn't good with it to begin with, right? Your subconscious will make sure that you line up with your identity. So here's what happens. You're not actually stuck. You've made a decision on your business for this particular question based on what you believe it requires. I don't want to grow the business because it's going to require more of me. And you've made your decision of that. So here's the deal. You don't have a revenue ceiling. You have a tolerance for how you think it's going to feel, how you're willing to feel, what you're willing to do to grow it. But here's what's really important. If your brain thinks that it has to feel worse to make more, you are going to stay exactly where you are 100% of the time. The brain's job is to keep you safe. It is not to help you get what you want. And it is not true. It's just the model you're operating inside of, right? It have to be double the work or more money to grow the business. It doesn't have to be that way at all. That is just your belief system. That is just your identity. And so you're self-sabotaging and you're making excuses and you're pretending you don't know what you want because you can't figure out how to get it in a way that feels good. How do we know this is true? There are people making more than you with less chaos. There are people running businesses. This person's business is 250 to 300, 500 to 600 that aren't chaotic, that aren't stressful, that aren't bleeding cash and staff, right? You're just not available for that version of you yet because you're not there yet. That's all. Two completely different questions. I could have more than I ever thought that I would, and it still feels like not enough, right? Or I could make more, but I don't know if I want to work that hard. I don't know if I want what it costs. It's the same pattern. One, you don't feel safe with what you have, and you don't trust that more could feel better, right? You don't feel safe with what you have, so you don't trust that more could feel better. What I have now feels hard, it feels heavy, or whatever your thing is, right? It's still not enough, and you don't trust that more could feel better. So you have two choices here. You can either keep chasing, or you stop yourself before it gets bigger. Neither one is actually going to change anything. So until that shifts, right? Until you realize that your identity has to be able to hold whatever it is, the power can't be in the money, the power can't be in the business, the power has to be inside of you. Until that shifts, nothing else is going to shift. If you have got a question you want me to break down like this, send it to me because chances are it's not what you think that it is. Welcome to the first episode of Ask Ryann, and I can't wait to do so many more of these for you. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Uncensored Self podcast. If this conversation cracked something open for you, trust that that's the work. And share this episode with a woman in your life who's ready to stop performing and start creating. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe, leave a review. It helps this message reach the women who need it most. Remember, you're the creator. The rules are yours. And your uncensored self, she already knows what to do. Keep leading, keep listening, keep becoming.